Here we have two examples of a brand new feature in Bevy 0.15 called animation events. The bottom is a simpler example that uses manually constructed animation clips to fire events that can be reacted to, changing the text each time. On the top, we're using animation events for this fox that is running so that every time a foot hits the ground, we spawn a cluster of smoke meshes. So for the text example, we start off by creating an animation clip from scratch, default settings. Then we can use this new add event API to set a time offset on that animation clip at which this event will get sent. We also do that for 1 second into this. You can see that the message events are capable of carrying data. In this case, it's carrying the text data for hello with Alice Blue and bye with Crimson. And to finish off that example, we load the clips into the animation graph, we play one of the indices, and then we spawn this into the world. And what will happen then is that Bevy will handle triggering animation events for us at the time offsets in the animations that we've specified. So in this case, we've got our struct message event. We're able to implement animation event for that message event, which is a regular event. We've derived event up here. We've added animation events capabilities to it. In this case, we've used a custom implementation, but this can also be derived just like event is. If it is derived, then you get to use observers. In this case, this is sending an event that can be read by an event reader. Both options have their use cases. So since those events are being fired, we can read them with an event reader. And every time one of these events comes in, we'll change the text to the event's text value and the color to the event's color value. So we've artificially set this animation length to 2 seconds. The first event fires at 0. The second event fires at 1 second. And over time, we're just animating the opacity out for whatever we're displaying. And in the meantime, these animations come in, we read them, and we process them. This can be used for text like we're seeing here. It can be used in more complicated scenarios like this fox. So we're adding an event to the front left, front right, back right, effectively bones. And then they each trigger at different times because each foot hits the ground at a different time. And we trigger this on-step event. This on-step event, in contrast to the last example, does actually derive animation event, which means that we get to use an observer with this trigger on-step argument, at which point we use the information we have, including the transform location, to fire off each of these mesh particles, which are handled by a different system. And that is animation events in the upcoming Bevy 0.15.